Hello everybody, I hope everyone's having a good day. Today's video, I thought I would do a little tier ranking video. So I'm going to be tier ranking almost like every book that I've ever read. Now these are all the books that I've recorded on Goodreads and some other that haven't that I just remember. I don't know how many books there are on here, I think maybe it's like 100. So I'm really excited. I've got my little tier ranker here. So this is my tier list maker. It's called Almost Every Book I've Ever Read because I'm sure there's some that I'm missing off of here. But so these are my tiers. I've got God tier, which is the top. I couldn't come up with a better name actually. So top tier is I would sell my soul to read this again for the first time. Books I absolutely love. Books that I've gotten so obsessed with that like put me in like a slump afterwards. And then the next tier is I love you but you're just not enough. I love them but they're maybe not super high up there in my book rating. And then I have You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great.
You were good, I'm waiting for you to be great.
These are books I would recommend. I liked them, or I was indifferent about them. I didn't really have any feelings towards them. Then I have meh, which sort of self-explanatory, books that I sort of just feel meh towards. And then I have no, just no. These are books that I sort of question why I read them and wouldn't recommend, or I would tell my friends about them and be like, this is such a strange book that I read. And then I have D and F, which are books that I have not finished. Let's get started. The first book in this pile is The Fifth Wave. I'm gonna put this in meh. I thought the book was alright. It didn't really grab me. It was sort of really tiresome to read. Then we have Seventh Circle. I'm gonna put this in You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. It's a reverse harem, sort of like mafia romance. They're in gangs and stuff. And I did enjoy it. I really enjoyed it for when I read it, but it's not one that I like love and I think about a lot. Now I have A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. I love you, but you're just not enough. I liked it. It was really long, but in the end I did really enjoy it. Then we have A Not So Meet Cute. This again is gonna go on the I love you but you're just not enough. The whole fake engagement I found really fun. I think the banter was on point. And then we have A Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay, we're gonna put this in You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. I feel like the whole ACOTAR series I went in waiting for Rhysand. So I wasn't grasped at the first one because he wasn't really in it, and the whole Feyre Tamlin romance didn't captivate me. A Court of Mist and Fury, I would sell my soul to read this again for the first time. The book, the whole romance, the found family aspect of that book is just, I love it so much. And also A Court of Wings and Ruin I will put in the I would sell my soul. I don't know, something just hit differently about A Court of Mist and Fury and ACOWAR. If you haven't already read the ACOTAR series, please go and read it. And then A Court of Silver Flames. This was like highly anticipated, but I'm gonna put this with ACOTAR in the You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. I did like it. There were definitely some aspects of it that were really long. I liked that we got to see more of other characters that we didn't see in the previous books, and the whole Nestor Cassian romance was good, but there were some things in there that I would have liked to have from Feyre's point of view. And then we have Addicted to You. This is gonna go on I love you but you're just not enough. At the beginning of the Addicted series I was quite hesitant reading it because I wasn't feeling it at the beginning. So Addicted to You and Ricochet definitely in the I love you but you're just not enough. By continuing on, we're gonna do Addicted for now. This one I would absolutely sell my soul to read for the first time. This is where the Addicted series really picks up. That's where I really fell in love with the characters. Okay, and then the next one, Kiss the Sky. Again, I would sell my soul to read this for the first time. They had a reality show. It was so amazing. I can't get enough of that book. Anytime I think about the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series, I just get so sad that those characters aren't real and I can't like meet them and tell them how much I love them. And then next is Hothouse Flower. This one I'm gonna put in I love you but you're just not enough. It wasn't my favorite at that point. It was like my 5th book of that in a row. It just wasn't super special. And then next comes Thrive. This book sort of just goes over what happened in Hothouse Flower and Kiss the Sky, but in Lily and Lo's perspective. So I'm going to put it in You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. Even though I love Lily and Lo, and hearing anything from their point of view was like spectacular, I feel like it was just a lot of repetitiveness. And then the last book in the Addicted series is Addicted After All. I put it I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. I really did love this book. The continuation of Lily and Lo's relationship and getting to see your relationship grow as they grow as people and their addictions and everything that happened in that book was really great. Fuel the Fire, I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. Again, I was getting burnt out with the series. I remember this book did take me a while to get through. I did enjoy it in the end. I just wasn't obsessed with it. Long way down. I would sell my soul to reread this book. That book made my heart break. Reich and Daisy, they went through so much. It was such a good way to wrap up their story, even though we still get the epilogue novel, but I loved that book. And then lastly we have Some Kind of Perfect. I put it in I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. I did love the whole ending of the characters and seeing them grow as people, their families, everything. It's just not my top book of the series. It was a great wrap-up novel. I loved every moment of it. Didn't want it to end, but it did. Now we're gonna do The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I remember reading this and it was so different to any other romance book that I've ever read. The whole her life is invisible and no one remembers her thing was such an interesting premise. I'm gonna put this in You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. The writing in it is beautiful. But other than that, I didn't enjoy it a lot. And then we have Alice in Wonderland, I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. It's a good story. All the Bright Places. I would sell my soul to read All the Bright Places. I read this book when I was 13 and it was the first book that ever made me cry, and I had no idea what was coming, what was happening, and the shock of the ending was just so much, and I just loved the characters so much. And then we have The Summer I Turned Pretty. Not the biggest fan of this book. You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. I liked the show a lot more. I found it sort of hard to get into and read. I had to force myself to read it. I did enjoy it in the end. The American Roommate Experiment, it's gonna go in the same column there. I did enjoy the whole roommate thing, the whole friends to lovers. That was good. And then Anne of Green Gables. Oh my god, I love You But You're Just Not Enough. I love Anne of Green Gables. Everything that's been made about Anne of Green Gables, I love. Archer's Voice, and You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Better. I gave it 3 or 4 stars. I'm not obsessed with it, not my favorite, wouldn't read it again. I liked how it was different that Archer couldn't talk. We have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. I've only read the first 3 Harry Potter books. So far that is my favourite one that I've read. I enjoyed it, I sped through it, it was great. Baggage Claim. Oh, this is my little Christmas book that I read. I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. I loved the whole setting. They were in Colorado in the snow. He was a skier, it was fake dating. They met on an airplane and then he was pretending to be her boyfriend to her family. I sped through it so quickly. Definitely recommend that one. And then we have Bane. You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. I remember loving this at the time that I read it. I remember loving all of those books, the Sinners of Saint series at that time. I think it was my favourite out of all of them. Before We Were Strangers. I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. You get to see them meeting for the first time and then them reconnecting, and I really liked that. And the whole New York setting and everything about it. Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. I did enjoy this book. It's definitely different to everything else on here. Birthday Kisses. This is the A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime little holiday novella. Put this in I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. I loved reading this. Book Lovers by I Love You But You're Not Enough. The whole small town. They both work with books, but I did really enjoy that. Crescent City. I would sell my soul to read this again for the first time. This is one of the books that first restarted my entire love for reading again. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. Change on the Fly. I feel like I had this binge where I just read all of Maren Moore's hockey romance books. This one, You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Better. It's single dad. He has this secret relationship with his sister's best friend. Corrupt. Meh. Wasn't my cup of tea. Crave. You were good. I'm waiting for you to do better. This is like, she's like a normal human being. She goes to this boarding school and there's like vampires and werewolves. I thought it was interesting. It was cool. Daisy Jones and the Six. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. I liked the book. I wasn't in love with it. The Darkest Temptation. I love you, but you're not enough. That was my favorite book in that series. A Touch of Darkness. I would sell my soul. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling. Obsessed with it. I love that book. A Game of Fate is A Touch of Darkness in Hades' perspective, so that's just gonna go on I Love You But You're Not Enough. It was just a repeat of A Touch of Darkness with a little bit of like politics in it. The next one is A Touch of Ruin. I love you but you're just not enough. Honestly, I barely remember what happened in these books. It's been a really long time. Remember, I loved it. And then A Touch of Malice, which is the third Touch of Darkness book. Again, I Love You But You're Not Enough. And then we have Dead Moon's Rising. I would sell my soul to read this again. I found the author on TikTok and instantly bought the book, and it's like my favorite book now. It's so good. Read it. It's very dark, so if you do want to read it, check trigger warnings. The Deal. I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. I loved it. I mean, The Deal, everywhere, off campus, hockey, so good. Defy, meh. This is in the Sinners of Saint series. I think it was like he fell in love with his teacher. Not too into that. And then we have Dinner Vipers. No. Just no. I still question why I ever read this book. That book is crazy. Then we have Dipped in Holly, which is a Christmas novella thing. It was fine. It was a novella. It's literally just like smart. Divergent. I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. For and Triss. And the whole dystopian world. I love it. Diver's Heart. Meh. This was, they were like doing this dive and they were like sea monsters. It was kind of strange. Down Will Come, Baby. You Were Good. I'm Waiting for You to Be Better. Marriage in Peril. They sort of re-fall in love with each other. Got pregnancy trope in it, so if you're not into that. I did like it. The Duke and I love the TV show Bridgerton. I read the book. Took me forever to read. It was fine. And then we have It Ends With Us. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. This was my first Colleen Hoover book. I enjoyed it at the time. I hated the Ellen letters. It's just not my favorite. The Enemy Trap. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. They went to like high school together and they hated each other, but then they fake engage. I think she gets pregnant. This whole thing there. I don't even remember their names. Do with that what you will. Everything. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be better. I liked it. Read it really quickly, so it was engaging. Really fast paced. Exodus. I did not finish this. Could not get through it. Then Flock, meh. Was fine. Nothing really to call home about. Then The Fault in Our Stars. So I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. It's such a tragic love story. From Blood and Ash. I Love You, You're Just Not Enough. I love that book. Everything about it that was just so good. Fighting Destiny, again, I love you, you're just not enough. This is part of the Fae Chronicles. He's a Fae and they have to work together to like solve this crime thing. I really liked that. The Fine Print, I loved the setting. I loved the whole romance and the whole Disneyland world. Sort of just made that book magical. Fire and Flood, I would sell my soul to read that book for the first time again. This is about this girl and she goes into this competition to win a cure because her brother's sick, and a whole lot of people are going into this competition. It's like a challenge. It's like you get to the end. So good. And then we have First Comes Blood. This is a series. It's like a mafia reverse harem. It was fine. Fortuna Sworn. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. I listened to this on audiobook. I don't think I was paying attention to majority of the audiobook. It was fine. From Lukov with Love. I Love You, Just Not Enough. I loved it. And I just loved the characters and the relationship, the dynamic in this book was so good. Games We Play. Meh. I have no feelings about this book. Geek Girl. I read this in intermediate school. This is like nerdy girl at school when she gets pulled out of school and becomes like this model. And I just thought it was really cool. I remember everyone was reading it when I was 13. Okay, Ghosted. I love that book. I will recommend that to everyone and anyone for the rest of my life. Definitely go read Ghosted if you haven't already. It's a second chance romance. He's an actor. Like One of Us is famous trope. There's so much groveling in it. It's so good. The Handmaid's Tale, I love you, but just not enough. I read this book for school and have since become obsessed with the entire Handmaid's Tale universe. It's such a political statement. It happened one summer. I love you, but just not enough. I loved reading this book. The small town vibes. He's a fisherman. So good. The Hating Game. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. It was fine. I liked the romance. When they go to the wedding, that was sort of my favorite part. Heartburns. I loved this book. I love you, but you're just not enough. It's such an underrated Colleen Hoover book, I feel. I loved the female character, Bayer and Samson. Bayer and Samson, so good. Heartless. It's about like the Queen of Hearts before the Queen of Hearts became the evil Queen of Hearts that she is. It was interesting. Wasn't super invested in it. Hook, Line, and Sinker. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be better. I definitely enjoyed It Happened One Summer more than Hook, Line, and Sinker. I feel like it was hyped up a lot. I did enjoy it nevertheless. Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. Personally, I found it really slow to get into. I did enjoy it in the end. Isn't my favorite Colleen Hoover book. House of Sky and Breath. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. I found it really long and I just couldn't really stay engaged with it. The Hunger Games. I love you, just not enough. I don't feel like I would sell my soul to read it again for the first time. I would be so content just rereading it for the rest of my life. And Peter and Katniss, everything about that series is amazing. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I love you, you just weren't enough. I really enjoyed it more than I thought that I would. And then we have Hate. This is the Reverse Harem series by Tate James that I really like. I love you, but you just weren't enough. And I think I'm gonna put the whole series in there because I really did enjoy this series. So Hate, Liar, Fate, and there's Kate. Now we have the Eden series. Indigo Ridge. I love you, but just not enough. Indigo Ridge is my favorite book in the series. I loved that book so much. Alright, I'm gonna put Juniper Hill and Garnet Flats in You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. I enjoyed them. I just am not like super obsessed with them. Jasper Vale, I read this recently. I loved that book. So good. Ignite. I love you, but you're just not enough. Fireman. He's a single dad. It's age gap romance. Killer T. You were good. I wanted you better. This is so funny. This is about like a pandemic, like outbreak. And I read it before the pandemic. So it was really interesting seeing things that happened in that book sort of reflected onto what happened with COVID-19. In that book, the whole pandemic and things were like changing people's genes and stuff. And people, I don't know, it was a bit strange in the end. And I mean, I still think about that book actually. Kite Runner. I read this one for school. I love you, but you're just not enough. This book is so special and it's so heartfelt and it just has so many great messages in it. Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. This is the second book in the From Blood and Ash series. I'm gonna put this one on I Love You, but you're not enough with From Blood and Ash. The first two I liked a lot more than I liked the rest of them. Crown of Gilded Bones. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be better. Wasn't obsessed with this. Then we have, oh, Kingdom of the Wicked. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. And I'm gonna put Kingdom of the Cursed there too. I liked these books. They were a little hard for me to get into and read. Then we have The Last Ronin, which is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book, and I'm Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle obsessed. I'm gonna put this in I Love You, but you're just not enough. Then we have Looking for Alaska. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. I enjoyed it, the whole summer camp vibe. It was a good book to get me started back into reading. Lords of Pain. I'm gonna put this in meh. That book is so just strange. Love and Other Words. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be better. I did like it, I just wasn't super obsessed with it. The Legacy. You Were Great, I'm waiting for you to be good. I definitely wanted more than just that. It kind of sucked as an ending for the whole off-campus series. Then The Goal. You Were Good and Waiting for You to Be Better. Not my favorite in the off-campus series. The Mistake. This is my favorite book in the off-campus series. So I Love You, but just not enough. I love Logan. I love Grace. I love that story. The Groveling. Oh, so good. The Maddest Obsession. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. Mafia Romance. It was alright. Marriage for One. I Love You, but you're just not enough. The whole Marriage of Convenience thing. Jack and Rose, their names from the Titanic. I really loved that. Neon Gods. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. Hades and Persephone retelling. Spicy. The Maze Runner. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. I read this ages ago. I really liked it at the time. There Are No Saints. Meh. I don't have any feelings towards this. He was a serial killer. Twilight New Moon. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be better. Not obsessed with the Twilight series. Normal People. I Love You, but you're just not enough. I liked it. I loved the show. And I think it's just really interesting. Like, it's like not a romance per se, but it's more of like a coming of age literary literary fiction, learning about yourselves, and I thought that was really interesting. It's Not Summer Without You, I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. I did enjoy the Summer I Turned Pretty series more as it went on. I definitely would put It's Not Summer Without You and We'll Always Have Summer in I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. Then we have November 9, I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. I loved that you only get to see like the November 9ths. 1% of You, Single Mom, Grumpy Sunshine, like he's all covered in tattoos. I Love You Just Not Enough. Her ex annoyed me so much in this book. One True Loves, You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. Not obsessed with this book. It was fine. I read it, I annotated it. I thought the writing was beautiful. There were some really beautiful things in it, but not my favorite. 1,000 Pieces of You. I would tell myself to read the whole series again. She travels through dimensions. It's this whole like interdimensional conflict goes on, and I love it. Priest, meh. It was about a priest. It was like smut. It was fine. Sincerely the Puck Bunny, again, another Maren Moore book. You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Better. Hockey Dad. She was, I don't really remember. Punk 57, meh. Not my favorite, it was fine. Red Queen, I Love You, You're Just Not Enough. I remember reading this and really liking it. It was one of my first fantasy books that I read, and I did enjoy it. The Redeeming Love, I Love You, But You're Not Enough. It's so good. It's this story about Angel who was sold into prostitution young, and Michael, and like he takes her away from them. It's so good. Reminders of Him, I would sell my soul. I cried so much. I loved it. Rhapsodic, meh. Was another like fae. I don't really remember. I read it a while ago. And Room Hate, You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. I liked it. I did like it at the time that I read it. It was really good. Ruckus, meh. Again, it's a Sinners of Saint book. It was fine. Honestly, don't remember what happened. Shadow and Bone, meh. I did not enjoy this book. I felt like reading this book was like pulling teeth. It starts with us. You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Better. I feel like I did enjoy it more than it ends with us, but other than that, there wasn't anything really that stood out about it. Scandalous. This is one of my more liked Sinners of Saint books. So You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. This Score, You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. Not obsessed with this book. Really don't remember what happened. Secrets We Hunt, meh. So it's like a short, smart book. The Selection, I did read this. I thought it was good. The whole Bachelor Princess thing, I really liked that. I did not like Aspen, Maxon all the way. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I Love You But It's Not Enough. I loved this book. I really want the movie to like come out. Come on Netflix, make the movie for me already. Okay, we're gonna do the Serpent and Dove series. I think the whole series I'm just gonna put in You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. It was a good fantasy series. I enjoyed it. If you're definitely getting into fantasy, I'd say this is a really good recommendation. Shadow, I Love You, But You're Not Enough. This book I think I read about 3 times in intermediate school, and I don't know why this book captivated me so much. I need to reread it. Shatter Me. You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Better. Wasn't obsessed with this. I enjoyed the dystopian setting. The Silent Patient, I Love You, Just Not Enough. This is one of the only few thriller books that I read, and I really did enjoy this. I thought it was really interesting. And I'm not a thriller girl, so reading this was really different. From Simon and the Homo Sapiens and Gender. You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. Don't really remember much that happened in this book. I would recommend it to other people. I just really do not remember. The Simple Wild. I love this book. The book is so much more than just a romance book. It's got family and heartfelt. So much. And I just really want to go live in Alaska now. Six of Crows. You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. I didn't super love it. It took me a while to get through. I did enjoy it more than Shadow and Bone though. Soulmate Equation, I Love You But You're Just Not Good Enough. I really loved this book. She's a single mom, and the whole like DNA matching dating website thing was really cool, and I thought it was really interesting coming from like a science perspective. Spanish Love Deception, You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. Again, not as obsessed with it as I know like so many other people are. I did find it super slow to get into, but Stay With Me. This is a trilogy, and I've read 2 of the books in this thing. I'm going to put both Stay With Me and Even When I'm Gone, which is the second one, in I Love You But You're Just Not Enough. These books are so deep, and they have such a good, like a deeper meaning. Such an interesting read, and such a heartbreaking read. Definitely check trigger warnings if you're ever going to read this book. Then we have Destroy Me, which is the Shatter Me novella. I can put this in Matt. It's like 150 pages. Took me a really long time to get through, so I wasn't super interested in it. Sweet Girl, You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. Again, this was a really short little book. I don't really remember what it's about, honestly. beautifully, but I did enjoy it. Then we have The Sweetest Oblivion. You're good, I'm waiting for you to be great. Again, not my favorite in that series. Sweet Temptation. This, however, is my favorite mafia romance. So I love you, but you're just not enough. I loved this book. The Deer. This goes in no, just no. This, some weird smart thing that I read. I don't know why I read it. Vicious. Meh. It's the first book in the Sinners of Saints series. I don't really feel much towards it. The Stalker. This is another Marin Moore book. Again, it's just gonna go on. You are good, I'm waiting for you to be great. It's hockey. They have a baby. She pretty much has one recipe that she follows. The Cheat Sheet. I love you, but you're just not enough. He's a famous football player and it's like fake dating and everything, but they love each other the whole time. I love that book. The Chase. You are good, I'm waiting for you to be great. I liked it. I like Fitzy. I like Summer. The Do-Over. You were good, I'm waiting for you to be great. It's like Groundhog Day. She redoes Valentine's Day multiple times. I did like this book. Elite. This is the second book in the Selection series. I do not remember what this is about. I enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure I read the Selection series so quickly. So it's just gonna go on You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. Okay, I'm gonna do The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain. Both of these books I'm gonna put up in I Love You, Just Not Enough. I'm studying computer science, so I really relate to the whole like women in STEM thing. Overall, just really loved these books. Newspaper Nanny. This one is another Marin Moore. I'm just gonna put this in meh. I don't remember anything that happened in this book. Twisted Love. Meh. Not my favorite. He needs to go to therapy. Twisted Games. I like this one more. Terms and Conditions. I Love You, Just Not Enough. This is my favorite book so far in the Dreamland Billionaire series. I would not put it down. I love Iris. Declan's such a grumpy bum. Twilight. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. I don't really have super strong feelings towards the Twilight series. I read them because I feel like it was something that I should read. 1,000 Boy Kisses. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. I did like this book. I did cry. Things We Never Got Over. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. This book I just found was super long, but I liked the small town and the grumpy sunshine. The Upside of Falling. Meh. I found this book really boring. What Love Looks Like. It's a novella. They're on holiday. They meet each other. Then we have There Will Come a Time. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. This is one that I randomly got out of the library once. It's about this boy who I think his brother died and he has this friend and they go through grieving together. Ugly Love. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. I love Miles and Tate, but some of the things that went on in that book were just not for me. We Are Good Girls Go to Die. Meh. I remember her being a stripper and that's about it. Where the Crawdads Sing. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. I enjoyed this book. I found it slow to get into, but in the end I did really enjoy it. My Year of Rest and Relaxation. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. I enjoyed it. It's not one that I think about often. It was very interesting in the fact that we didn't know her name and it was about this woman who just wanted to sleep for a year. Throttled. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. I enjoyed it. It was a great, like, quick, fluffy romance for me to read. The Wall of Winnipeg. I love you, but you're just not enough. It was my first Marin is a Part of book. I read it in like 2 days. I could not get enough. Verity. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be great. It was an interesting thriller. I read it in one sitting. Wonder. I love you, but you're not enough. I read this when I was younger. I did really love this book. It's about this boy whose face is a little bit disfigured and his life, and I found that really interesting. Now we're gonna do the Bad Reputation duet. Both of these I'm gonna put in I Love You, but you're not enough. I loved this duet. Garrison and Willow are great. It's so good. I just want to give Garrison a big hug, honestly. Now, saved it for last. Throne of Glass series. The amount of books in it that I have here, which is 5 of them. So first off, Throne of Glass. You Were Good, I'm waiting for you to be better, and Crown of Midnight I will put there too. The first 2 books wasn't as invested because all I was doing was waiting for Rowan. Now, Air of Fire and Kingdom of the Ash, I know those are not in order. We're gonna go in I Love You, but you're not enough. I loved those books. The fact that we got to meet Rowan in Air of Fire and then Kingdom of Ash is like the last one, the wrap up book, and it was just so perfect. And Air of Fire was such a transition book and so much character development happened in there and you met so many new characters and I feel like it was just all over the place, honestly, but I loved it. Now, Queen of Shadows. I would sell my soul to read this again for the first time. This is my favorite book in the Throne of Glass series. I will read this to the end of time. I feel like it was where the whole plot series really took off and it was where I really fell in love with the entire story, all the books, and I mean, it was so great. With that done, that means that this is my entire tier rank. I've been sitting here for like 2 hours. So these are my top 2 tiers, my middle tier, and then my last tier. So thank you so much for watching if you have made it to this point, which if you have, congratulations, that is an achievement because I almost didn't make it to this point. And editing Bella is probably gonna cry, but it's fine. I hope you enjoyed watching me tier rank most of the books that I've read. If you did, give this a thumbs up. I might do more of these. This did take a while, but it was fun. So if you did like it, feel free to subscribe. This was really fun and I do look forward to making more of these videos in the future. So hopefully I will see you then, but in the meantime, have a really great day, night, morning, evening, whenever you're watching this, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. So bye!